Hey, welcome to the Grow My Etsy Shop podcast. Same Jared, new shirt. It's my new tagline. All right, let's. If you are watching this on or if you're listening to the podcast, I do have 3 YouTube videos up at this point. You can go see me talk to you, which I don't know if that's any more entertaining than this. So if you're doing orders or washing the dishes or being one of those people that walks their dog at midnight or something like that, then you probably don't want to watch this. But if you're sitting there doing absolutely nothing and just want to look directly into my eyes as I'm talking to you, you can go to my YouTube channel, Grow My Etsy Shop, and you can see that. You can just see a tired dad just looking at you. Isn't that great? Okay, let's talk. So today I'm going to talk about this. I actually have to write it down because I don't know how to say it. I have to say it phonetically, which is Pygmalion Effect. Which is, there was a speaker that came to something, I was involved in this kind of startup, and he was a weird dude. I'll tell you this right now. He had this belief system that he had to drink water like a horse. So he would like talk to you, blah, 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 and then he'd go to take a drink of his water, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can see me do it. He'd go like this, and just like open everything up, shove water as fast as he could because there was something about hydration and the way early humans ate and stuff like that. He's like the type of guy that wore the shoes that your toes go into. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like the barefoot things and stuff. He was a weird dude, but, smart. at least thought he was. Well, I'm trying to think of his name. Alex was his first name. Anyway, he was the mentor of the girl that was doing the startup that I was working with. So he's the first one that kind of introduced this process to me. And then I worked with this guy that was very wealthy. He was a life insurance guy, and he ran his business very similar. And so I've watched 2 different people who've ran their business using this. Again, I got to look at the phonetic way of saying it. Pygmalion strategy, and having it be a really positive environment and seeing how well it worked. And so let's talk about it. Recently in the mastermind group, I did have someone bring up a question about kind of employees. It was her daughter she was talking about, but I thought this is a good subject. So this effect is when you treat people like they are high performers, and in turn they become high performers. And so the whole idea is you put high expectations, they become high performers under that. For this to work, you have to be very clear and of your expectations. So step 1, and I think this is where some people may fall, especially when you're working with family, husbands, wives, hide your kids, hide your wives, the whole thing. When it's family members that you're working with, expectations can be a scary thing, right? It could be like, well, I just want to assume you're going to do a good job, but they don't know what a good job is. And if someone doesn't know what a good job is, then they tend to just do what they want, which is usually the bare minimum. So if I just do the bare minimum, then life is good and there's nothing I have to worry about. What makes someone want to do better, there's 2 reasons that are going to do it. And one is that, like, for example, I could say, why do you go to the gym every day? And someone who goes to the gym every day isn't getting paid to go to the gym. So they're not motivated by money going to the gym. They're going to the gym because they're going to say it makes them feel better and all this kind of stuff. But ultimately it boils down to, I am investing in myself and I'm wanting to be in better shape and I feel good and it's important to me. And ding, 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 it's important to me. And so your business is important to you as the business owner. And when you go to hand that to someone else, they're going to lack in that. Because at the end of the day, they may feel like they're going to the gym and it's you that gets the gains from the gym. So if they go out and work their tail off, that just makes you stronger, but not their paycheck bigger. Do you know what I mean? So how do we fight something like that? Because the idea isn't, well, you give them a percentage of your business or whatever. The idea is you motivate them to be able to work better. And this is where, and I love this style. I've worked with people who manage this way, and I really do like it. It is the idea that they are allowed to be entrepreneurial in their space. So here are the resources. is the job or the expectations that we have, and the rest is positive reinforcement that they can do those things. So let's bring this into employee standpoint. Let's say that someone is your shipper and you're hiring someone to bring in to do the shipping for you. Number one, they need to know how to do their job. And so I actually have someone that I'm currently working with who's bringing in a shipper. The wife does the shipping, and she's very much vocal of like, there's a lot. We have a lot of different sizes, different pieces. Things happen in different ways. And the advice that I've given is you just start to dock. Like, okay, this is how I did this. This is how I did this. This is how I did this. Except if you're watching me on YouTube, I was using a pen and paper to show my example. I'm now moving it into finger typing. Because what I want you to do is I want you to feed it to AI. And this is the advice that I gave her. You open up a thread and you say, hey, I'm going to be hiring a shipper, and I'm going to be dumping all of my processes to you. So every time I'm doing something, I think, oh, this is good that they need to know, or oh, yeah, this was a unique scenario. I'm going to explain it to you and how I did it. And then you just start doing it, and you start doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. You just start feeding AI this whole thing. And by the time it's all done, there's no rhyme or rhythm to what you're doing. You're just feeding it. And by the time you're done, you're going to be able to say to it, can you create a step-by-step guide with anything that's one-offs or anything that's bizarre, kind of put towards the end, or like a bonus section that's at the end there, and create for me a document that I can give my person so that they know how to manage and do shipping. And it's going to go do all that stuff, and you're going to have it. And then what happens is, if your shipper starts to bring you questions, you just upload it back into that same thread, and then update your thing, print that out, or put it online or whatever you want it, and have that so that they can always reference it. The idea is what you want to do is be able to say, like, this is the mindset you want to have. I want the sheet to always have the answers, that they don't have to come to me. If they are coming to me, it's because the sheet didn't have the answer, and that's my fault. So I'm going to update the sheet so that it has it. If you have that, within a couple weeks, you could be very much hands-off type of boss, which is what I want everyone on this podcast to be, because it doesn't make sense to hire someone and then micromanage someone. So what you have to do is self-motivate that person. And step one is, here are the expectations. Here are the things that I need you to get done. Here is how I need you to get them done. And here is all the tools you'll need to be able to get this done correctly. If you are unable to figure it out, and if the document doesn't help you, I am third in line to be here for you. If you find a better way to do it, please, and this is how you want to do it if you're using the Pygmalion Effect, is you want to say to them, you want to frame to them, I hired you because you're a high performer. I hired you because you're smart. So watch, I could do it to you right now. You ready? Everyone who listens to this podcast is an Etsy shop that's looking to grow. They're proactive and looking to grow. And usually they're a little bit higher end Etsy shops. If they're looking for the interviews and all that kind of stuff and just getting people to talk about why they were successful, but great. There's lots of podcasts. You can go do those things. If you're looking for marketing techniques that you can apply to your shop, this is where you want to be. And so people who are here are smart. They're good Etsy shops. They're good business owners. And a lot of them are just good at selling online. Therefore, I can say you are smart. You are good at selling things online. And here you are today listening to this. And so I have 100% faith that the things we're going to talk about today are going to be really easy for you to do. That you're going to be able to implement these things and just kind of go with it. Because this is naturally who you are. You are a high performer. You're someone who's going to be able to scale a business and grow. So here I go. End quote. End segment here. What did I just do? I pre-framed it. I explained what I was looking for from my listeners, then said, and this is you because you're my listener. And so this stuff that you're going to be doing today is going to be easy for you. And I have confidence that you're going to be able to do it because you listen to this podcast. And this is what you are. And this is the only people who listen to my podcast are smart people. And you're smart. So, ding, off you go. That right there is a great way to manage people. To say, I have these things for you. And you're smart, and I think you can figure out most of it. If you get into something that you can't figure out, please let me know. I'm going to add it to the doc for you. And so that way that's there for you. But allow them to feel and have that you're a smart person. And if they start to say, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, no, I'm not, that you have two options. One is you build them up. B is you let them go. Because if they're saying I'm not, what they're doing is they're trying to lower expectations of what you have of them. I'm not that person. I'm not that person. And you just beat it into them. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It's why I hired you. I wouldn't have hired you if you weren't. You are. You're a smart person. You can do this. Yeah, you're someone who can figure this out. And so creating an environment where you feed them that they are high performers, you're going to get high results out of them. And what happens is they start to look for and know that you are holding them accountable for their high performance. And when they feel that, and it isn't coming from you need to perform or I'm going to fire you. You need to do this. Why did you make this mistake? This was dumb. You should stay after and fix these things, which is how some bosses can manage. If it's instead being, I know you can do these things and I trust that you can do these things, then there's this feeling of I need to step up so that I don't let that person down. And if you are likable and kind and take care of your employees and then manage them with this mindset, you're going to find that they don't want to let you down. And because they don't want to let you down, they're going to be there for you. So what are some tangible things that you can do? Number one is daily, for the next little while, remind them of who they are. And so remind them that they are smart. Remind them that you trust them. Remind them that they are completely capable to do what they do. Remind them of all those things so that starts to become a rhythm for you and a rhythm for them, that they know that they are smart and everything. Now, the next thing that you go from this is that you give them permission to be entrepreneurs in their space, which means if you find a better way to do this, do it. If you find an easier way to do this, do it. If you find a more cost-effective way to do this, do it. I want you to have freedom to use the resources that I have for you with the expectations that I have to be able to create the best system possible. And if it is faster than what I currently gave you and it works, I'm happy for you. And I expected that out of you because you're smart. Yeah, when I hired you, I knew you were smart enough to do this kind of stuff. So that gives people the freedom to be able to be experimental, to try new things, and to think outside the box, which is what you ultimately want for your business. It is really, really common that we want to replace ourselves in our business. If I just had another Jared, I could do X, Y, Z. But the truth is, and this is a hard one to swallow, is that isn't what your business needs. Your business needs to be lifted in areas that you aren't currently lifting. And so if you can get someone to come in and start helping you in some areas, but then they start bringing some extra things in, some extra ideas that and they feel confident sharing those ideas, they feel safe to be able to do it, this is where you're going to get performance out of them. For those who listen to the podcast, you know I coached for a long time. And I used to say to my athletes, practice is the time for you to experiment. So you are going to, the idea is in games, we don't want to make mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. But who wins is usually the team that makes the less amount of mistakes. So how do we avoid making mistakes? Is we learn from our mistakes. And it's better to learn from your mistakes in practice than it is in a game. So if you're sitting there watching us run a drill and you think, I want to try this. I want to try going in this way. That's fine. Go for it. And sometimes I would say to a kid, the heck you doing? Why did you go left when you were supposed to go right in this? And I had a pass that they could say, Coach, I was trying it. And I'd say, great. That was them saying to me, Coach, I recognize it was a bad idea. I now can see why it's a bad idea. I just wanted to see. And I could say, great. Because practice, you're allowed to do that in practice. So how do we do that with our employees? How do we allow them to feel like they can experiment without screwing things up? And this is where that communication comes in. We want them to be able to say, hey, I have this idea. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about going this direction. Or even, I fiddled with this thing. And if it ends up being a mistake, we want to make sure that from our perspective, we say, why did you do that? And they feel comfortable saying, I was trying something new. And then you saying, okay, I appreciate I appreciate that, because there is probably better ways to do this. And so, yeah, unfortunately, this one didn't work out, but I'm always open to better ways if that's the case. That keeps them the morale high. It keeps them happy. It keeps them trying new things. And let me share this with you. When I hired my shippers, they did it better than me. I didn't think that was going to be the case, but that's what they did full time. And so by the time 6 months went by, these guys were really, really good at what they were doing and changed the process that I had within my own company. So be kind. Let them know you love them. Let them know you trust them. Let them know you have their best interest in mind and that they are smart and they are good at what they do and that's why you hired them. And allow them to experiment, to grow, to feel confident, and you will find that you'll have a really great working environment. So you have a husband, shows up, does his packaging. You kind of feel like you have to bark at him the whole time. Try it. Try saying, you're really good at this kind of stuff. You're a smart person, and it's something that I admire about you. I think you could do that. I think you'd be really good at this. That's why that's why I'm trusting you with this. See what he says. He might say, pound sand. Or, yeah, that feels good. I want you to trust me. An employee that may not be working great, instead of sitting him down and saying, hey, you're not doing a good job, try it. Try coming in and saying, look, I trust you. I want you to have this freedom. I want you to have this ability or this canvas to be able to work with. If you're falling short, it's usually because I haven't done the expectations strong enough. So let me provide the expectations. Let me get them down on paper for you so that you have them. And then outside of that, the reason I hired you is that I think you could not only hit these expectations, but go even further. And see if that works for you. Okay? Till next week.